Corinthians 13:4 verses 4 through 7 describe the qualities of love. The full passage emphasizes that love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy, nor is it boastful. It is not proud, not rude, not self-seeking or easily angered. It does not keep records of wrongdoing and rejoices in truth, not evil. Now, why did I bring up that verse to start the video in particular? Today I wanted to talk about relationships. And as a man who is 17 years old, so I guess not really a man, but developing into one, and who's certainly made his fair share of mistakes during a relationship, I just wanted to talk about how to deal with things like that, and how not to deal with things, and how I deal with things, and the things that I shouldn't probably do whenever I'm dealing with things. But I brought up that verse because that, as Christians and as people in general, I think, even if you don't believe in God, I think you can look at that passage and just be like, that makes a lot of sense. And that you can put it together as, it doesn't have to be a religious statement to be true, but for people who are Christians, that is one of the things that is what God calls us to do when we love another person, is to be patient, to be kind, do not boast, do not keep records of wrongdoing, do not be selfish, and whatever that said. I can't memorize verses to save my life, but I'm trying. But it takes a really strong person to do that. And I know in my last relationship, I definitely was not able to hold up those values. And I think that's a struggle for a lot of men, and a lot of Christian men as well, is that you can love this person so much that it can deeply affect you, and that it can, put something in your heart that is like, it's like a fear. It's like a fear of losing this person. And you care about that more than you care about yourself. So when things start going wrong, you put up a shield, or you put up a wall, and you're just like, I can't let this happen. I can't, I have to stop this, or I have to get defensive, and I have to get angry, and I have to freaking out and trying to figure out a way how to do this. And I've seen a lot of guys fall into that trap, and one of those guys was me. And what you have to realize is that as a man, you can't put your value in somebody else. And I'm a huge hypocrite because I do this pretty much every relationship I've been in. And I've been trying to get better, and I'm definitely I'm going to do better in my next relationship. I'm going to stay single for a little while, because the timeline between my last relationship and this one that I was just in, it was 8 months of being with somebody, and then I took 2 months of being single, and then I jumped into another relationship that lasted 7 months. And I'm the type of person who wants to I want to make this girl feel like she's loved, and I want to do everything that I possibly can for this woman. And I tend to forget about myself a lot. And I think that's why over the past year and a half, where I've just been in a relationship basically nonstop, it's just like, I just kind of degraded myself to the point where, I didn't do anything for myself. I did everything to please this other person and to serve this other person. And just as a man, that's something you can't do. First, you have to serve God. And then secondly, you have to make sure that you take care of yourself. Because a lot of men right now are suffering from mental health issues. And I'm glad to see that there's becoming less stigmatized, as the years go on, of men's mental health and people speaking out. But it's been tough for a lot of people and a lot of men, and I know a few men personally that I've had really deep conversations with that I didn't know that they were struggling, and I didn't know that they were going through something, and I'm glad that I was able to speak to them about these topics and just offer them reinforcement as well as them offering me reinforcement. Because you kind of have to have a sense of brotherhood in Christ whenever you are, surrounding yourself and being involved in fellowship. Is you can't do this life alone. And even when you have a good relationship with God, you can't live this life without other people. And there's going to be guys and there's going to be girls that come in and out of your life, and they're just there for a period. But no matter what, those people are always going to make an impact, whether they're there for a day, a month, a year, 5 years. No matter what, that person is going to make an impact on you. And that's why it's so important to have conversations like that with your friends and the people you consider brothers, and even your actual brothers, is that when you have those conversations, it makes it easier not only for you to open up, for them to open up, because men don't like to talk about what they're feeling. And even I'm up here on this, staring at this microphone, and it's kind of uncomfortable to talk about what I feel like, just because it's not normal. In a lot of my relationships, I was never able to tell the girl how I was feeling. I kind of just had to repress it because I didn't want to be an issue. And with a lot of guys that I know, they've been taught the same thing since they were kids, and I never got to talk to them and have an open conversation with them about how they actually feel. And we see it every day. I mean, there's crazy statistics out there about male suicides, and there's people who think about it every single day and they don't do it, but there's the people that every single day that do. And it's so incredibly disheartening knowing that there's people that and there's people that I know that are thinking those thoughts every single day, and you would never know unless you talk to them about it. And even if the first time you say something about it, even if they won't say anything, you just have to try. Make sure you check up on your people, and don't ever leave someone when they're struggling. And I know it's hard to know sometimes, but sometimes you can just tell. And don't ever leave someone when they're struggling. That was sad. I apologize. Something that I really need to learn is to love more like how Jesus loved us, and how he continues to love us every day. And like it says in Corinthians, it outlines all the things that love is and what love isn't. And those are the things that Jesus did for us, and he still does for us. He's so patient. As we are all sinners, he's incredibly patient with us. He's incredibly kind, and he doesn't take away from us things that are in our life because he's trying to be mean to us, right? He does all the things that we need, and he gives us all the things that we have because of the love he has for us. And in John 3:16, probably a verse that everybody knows by heart, is God so loved the world that he gave his only son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. And that's the love that Jesus gives us every day. It was recently Easter, about 4 days ago, and I took that day to try and remember the fact of what Jesus did for us on that day, and I had to kind of sit myself down and just stop and remember what Jesus did. He was beaten, he was bruised, he was thrown through the ringer, hung on a cross with a crown of thorns in his head. He died for us, for me, for you, for anybody watching this, for everybody on this earth. He died for us. And the miraculous thing is he rose 3 days later. And that just shows the kind of miracle worker that God is. And I apologize, it's going to be kind of a shorter video today, but it's been a hard day. I did accomplish something that I think is pretty cool. I'm now officially enrolled and committed to go to Lincoln Tech to learn how to be an electrician. I don't know why I said it like that. Yeah, I mean, I always gotta have a backup plan. You know, I think what I'm doing right now is obviously what I want to do, and it's gonna be my dream forever. But in the real world, you gotta make some money, and you can't making money off music and making money off YouTube is not easy. So I kind of, that's what I'm doing as a backup plan, and I honestly I think I'm really gonna enjoy it. It's gonna be different because I've never really done anything involved in electrical, but I'm so ready to learn about it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I know this video is kind of all over the place, but I think it had a few good points in there. Next time I'm gonna try and do something a little bit more structured. Today I wanted to make a video today, and I had some things that I wanted to say, and I know I probably didn't get them across very well, but I'm trying my best, and I promise you guys next time will be a lot better. I hope you guys have a good day, night, evening, wherever you are, whatever time it is. Love you guys. Peace.